Touch the Dead is a janky but enjoyable zombie DS rail shooter that you've likely never played, developed by Dream On Studio and published by IDOS and V2 Play in America. This title is relatively short, taking maybe 3 to 4 hours to finish, and while it's not my favorite rail shooter by a long shot, I still had quite a bit of fun with it. The game takes place between 4 chapters, each with 3 levels for a grand total of 12 levels, and every chapter holds a boss battle on the final level, and the last boss of the game was quite a pain to say the least. But before I dive into the boss fights, I would like to talk about normal gameplay. Hence the name of the game, you kill zombies by touching them, which sounds really weird when said out loud with no context, but you tap on a Z to shoot them or swipe to melee if you're using the crowbar. You have 4 weapons in total actually, and you use the D-pad to switch between them, being a weak infinite ammo pistol, a beefy Spaz 12 shotgun, a crappy SMG, and a crowbar, with the shotgun and the pistol being my favorites. You can collect weapon upgrades throughout the game, which can increase your reload speed and provide damage boost if I'm not mistaken. And the increased reload speeds are crucial in this game, as you are going to be reloading a lot, and you reload by dragging the ammo icon on the bottom right screen to the magazine icon on the bottom left of the screen. This usually works smoothly, but was sometimes really finicky, and I'd have to try multiple times to reload in a game that doesn't give you many breaks, and from what I read, the manual reloading was a common negative point among review outlets who covered this game. But it gets even worse. Sometimes I would try to reload and accidentally waste precious ammo by tapping a millimeter beside the reload icon and firing off a round at nothing. Or I'd be trying to shoot something but accidentally touch one of the reloading icons and wind up being smacked by a zombie. So the combat itself is fun, although it can be tough at times with the sheer amount of foes that you sometimes have to deal with at once, which isn't really helped by the iffy reload controls. Now, I do appreciate what the devs were going for with it, trying to make it feel like you were actually reloading your firearm, but it kinda just turned into a hindrance. Going into other topics of combat, you can find health and ammo drops in breakable boxes and furniture scattered around the game, and while you usually had adequate time to collect these items, some boxes literally gave you under a second of reaction time, and I would usually miss these. But thankfully, relying on looting health drops from containers isn't the only way to heal, and Touch the Dead has a pretty unique mechanic in which getting dismemberments and going for a variety of vital shots would reward you with some HP. For example, a level might have challenges like get 10 headshots and 5 leg shots, and if you pulled these off, you gain some vitality. But the issue here lied in the fact that you weren't shown these challenges before a level, so you kinda just had to go for a variety of fatal moves and hope that you earned enough to complete the challenges. As far as enemy variety goes, Touch the Dead does excel in this department, having several zombie-human variants, like Swamp Zeeks and Army Zombies, who hold more health than the normal walkers, but also rats, alligators, bats, etc. So A+ to this game for holding a good variety of foes and some creative bosses. Plus, this game has a Fury mode, which you can play after beating the game, and it's pretty much an ultra-hard version of the game that I didn't play too much. The story was pretty bare bones and didn't amount to a lot. In a nutshell, a prisoner named Rob Steiner escapes from prison amid a zombie outbreak, and then he gets recaptured at the end of the game. That's it really, but rail shooters seldom have deep stories, so I give it a pass here. Graphically, the game isn't quite DS Call of Duty or Dementium level quality, but it looks good enough, and the game does take place in several different environments, like a swamp and a prison, so at least you get some changes of scenery. And you can unlock some neat concept art while playing the game, so a small plus there. The OST is alright, and so are the sound effects. In conclusion, with all things said, I give this title a 8.5 out of 10 by my grade scale. Was it worth the $20-some I paid for a CIB copy? I guess so. As far as similar games I can suggest, Maybe House of the Dead 3 for Xbox, and there is a chance that you might like the aforementioned Dementium the Ward if you're a DS player, but that's a survival horror FPS and not a rail shooter. And I have reviewed both of these suggested games, by the way. Links will be in the end cards and the description. As far as our Bible verse of the day, I read from Psalm 118 verse 21 NIV. I will give you thanks, for you answered me. You have become my salvation. And a couple side notes apart from my review. I'd just like to mention that this is one of only 11 M-rated games to ever release for the DS, and while this game does contain some cussing in the cutscenes, the ESRB didn't mention that in the rating, and they only mention blood, gore, and violence. Plus, this game is called Dead and Furious in Europe, and it has a completely different cover. I personally prefer the US cover and the name Touch the Dead. Alrighty, that's all for me for now, folks. Thanks for stopping by, I hope you enjoyed. For any newcomers here, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to check out some of my other vids if that sounds interesting. And I know that this is a shorter video, but sometimes short vids are good. Feel free to follow me on GameRam if you want behind the scenes content and hints at upcoming videos. Like always, none of my content is made with AI, and I don't consent to my voice and likeness being altered, modified, or copied by AI in any way, form, or shape. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. God bless.